Regardless if this is your first time playing Temtem or you're a long-time early access veteran, training up the perfect team is just one of those things that you'll spend a lot of time doing. So why not make it easy? What's up friends, my name is Livid, and welcome back to Legacy Gaming. With the official launch of Temtem 1.0, I thought I'd put together everything that you need to know about training up those perfect Temtem. The best TV farming locations, items that will help you optimize that process, and even the most optimal set of Temtem that you can invest in for making your endgame farming process easy. With that out of the way, let's get started. Now for anyone who's new to the game, feel free to follow along with us. Pretty much all this information will be beneficial. For those looking for just certain bits of information, feel free to use the timestamps in the pinned comment to navigate to the section that you're looking for. Now as a really quick overview, TVs are effectively EVs from Pokemon. Whenever you defeat an opposing Temtem in battle, you'll earn a fixed amount of TV stats depending on the Temtem species that you defeated. The maximum number of TVs that you can earn on one Temtem is 1,000, with each stat being limited to a cap of 500. The higher your TV value in a particular stat, the higher your Temtem's base stats will be. Now this is used to help patch particular weaknesses in certain Temtem or amplify already stellar stats even further in others. Now before diving into the TV locations, let's talk about items. Now throughout your adventures in Temtem, you'll come across dozens of side quests and hidden items. Some of these are key to an efficient use of your time, so it's important that we touch on these first. Now, I won't be showing you the full quests, as you can very easily look these up on the wiki once you know what you're looking for. Now the Coward's Cloak will be your first foray into experience share in Temtem. The holder of the Coward's Cloak gains experience and TVs from combat without ever being on the battlefield. Perfect for leveling and training Temtem without risking them dying. Now we have an older guide on the channel that tells you exactly how to get this. Proteins is another item you absolutely cannot do without. When equipped to a Temtem, it will double the TV gain of the holder, meaning you'll need to farm half the amount of wild Temtem to achieve your goal. This is huge, and you'll find this item in the basement of the Giant Banyan during your story progression. Don't miss this. Then there's the Coward's Blanket, an item that you won't get until after you've completed every single island in the game, but it's a quest that you'll get extremely early in your adventure. Now this is a key item, meaning that you'll turn it on and turn it off instead of equipping it, and while active, your entire squad will receive XP and TVs from PvE battles, meaning once you have a farming duo, you can train up to 4 additional Temtem without them ever stepping foot on the field. Now when leaving Denny's for your first time, you'll be able to get on the Narwhal. Now be sure to talk to Tarley on the main deck. This will kickstart the Travel Writer quest. You'll also be able to find her located here in this building in Nessla. Now this quest will give a ton of valuable gear, including the Coward's Blanket, so do not miss this quest. Additionally, you'll want to be able to fix mistakes when training or prevent them from happening at all. For that, we have erasers. The Eraser and the Eraser Plus will allow you to remove the TV type gain from a battle instead of increasing it. Now this is both perfect for fixing mistakes or for leveling a Temtem through XP share without them gaining those TV values at all. Now the Eraser is found here in Tukma, but it needs the climbing gear to reach. The Eraser Plus, on the other hand, is found in Neo-Edo, just behind the Nanto Lab building. Last up is Akatson's Tamer Supplies, a shop located in Quetzal that sells patches, one-time gear purchases that when equipped, each prevent a specific TV from being gained in battle, another way to fully tweak your party to the content you're farming. Now with all that out of the way, I'm going to show you the optimal locations for training each particular stat in the game. Keep in mind, there are sometimes multiple locations for a particular stat based on your power level and what you can effectively farm from it. Now I'll also be showing you which Temtem that I recommend you get and train in order to farm these spots as efficiently as possible. Now we'll go over those in a bit more detail after showing the spots. Now without a doubt, the best places to farm HP TVs lie in Denny's. Now there's 2 well-known patches of grass that contain 100% Psypad spawns, granting you plus 3 HP per Psypad killed. Now the first location can be found north of Arisola in the Gifted Bridges area, hidden at the end of a short river. Now the other prime location, and the one that I actually prefer, is to the west of Turquesa, on this little island at the south of the Solaro River. Now both places, as I mentioned, only spawn Psypads, and quite often 2 at a time. For this farm, I highly recommend getting yourself a Nessla with electric synthesis, and placing it on the right hand spot in combat. Now when using Chain Lightning on the leftmost Psypat, you'll see both killed and your Nessla healed. I've also included the stats that I run on mine, so if you're looking to train one up for yourself, this is what you can go with. Now for stamina, unfortunately, there's no 100% spawn rate spot like most others in this list, which is unfortunate for those looking to mindlessly train their Temtem. The best we can offer here is a location within the Geno Gap in Kisiwa, just south of the Nuru Lodge. Now this little outcropping, requiring climbing gear, will have Tataru with a spawn rate of 80%, each granting +2 stamina. If you want to be efficient while farming here, I recommend using a mental Temtem, as it's the only weakness of neutral types. Now Sanbi is an excellent investment, has potent single target mental attacks, but only covers one single type. Minothor, on the other hand, is an electric mental type that gets use in multiple scenarios, including PvP. Now this one is a heavy investment, but one that's probably more worth your pants on if you're looking to buy a perfect one off the market. Now when it comes to speed TVs, there are two locations, both located in Tukma. First up is the well-known Orphil and Mushi location, at the southernmost stretch of the corrupted Badlands. Now each of these Temtem grant you +2 to speed, and have a 45% spawn rate, meaning around 90% of the time you'll run into your desired target. The other location is this patch of grass at the southernmost part of Kupalaleza in Tukma. Now this one only spawns Zephyroth and Mushi, which give +1 and +2 speed respectively. Now while you are potentially gaining less TVs per encounter, a 100% spawn rate means mindless farming is on the table. Now a good investment here would be in a Tukai with Spreader, allowing its wind techniques to hit both targets on the field. Now if you're farming the first location, just be sure to avoid any fights where blues shows up. Now in terms of attack TVs, there are two really solid locations in my opinion. The first one is the Earth Shrine in Kisuwa. Now here you'll find Osakai, which gives you +4 attack, and the rare spawn of Tuwai, which also gives +1 attack. This is without a doubt the meta location, but these are level 72 Temtem that hit quite hard, so you might not be ready right away. For here, if you've been training up the perfect Spreader Tukai, any water move should clean them up no problem. Now you could also use a double team of Fire Koish that I will go into a little bit later on. The other location is a relatively new one, and it's in a tiny patch of grass just north of Properton. Now here, level 68 middies spawn at a 100% rate and give +3 attack TVs. Now these are generally much easier to kill with a trained up Nessla using Chain Lightning and the assist from your Spreader Tukai or a Rusher Minothor. Now the best spot for farming defense is hands down this location in Green Glen Forest. Here, Garong will spawn with an 80% encounter rate and will give +4 defense for each kill. Now you combine that with proteins, and you'll be done here in no time with defense. Now being a melee type, that Minothor or Sanbi that you trained up will make quick work on these Temtem. Now special attack is kind of a tricky one. Now the best spot, in my opinion, is definitely this one in Meadowdale, located in Arbory to the west of Lockburn. Here you'll encounter level 65 Revel 80% of the time, and each one grants +3 TVs to special attack. The other location, which is definitely a much lower level spawn, has Whiplump 85% of the time, which grants +2 special attack, and Platox 15% of the time, which grants +1 speed and +1 special attack. Now most Temtem need speed stat increases, so generally this works out fine. For both of these locations, you can bring your Nessla with its Chain Lightning to make quick work of most encounters, with Spreader Tukai for wind attack cleanup. Now last up we have special defense. Now without a doubt, the spot near the middle of the Solaro and Denny's is your go-to spot. Here you'll find a patch of grass that has 100% FOMU encounters. All are low level, and each grant +2 special defense. These are all easily dispatched by Nessla with Chain Lightning, yet again. Alright, now these are Temtem I not only use for farming, but also ones besides Nessla that I actually use in competitive battles, and as such are also trained accordingly in their stats. Nessla is hands down one of the stars when it comes to farming in Temtem, and one of your best first investments early on. Electric Synthesis combined with Chain Lightning gives you sustain and AoE damage in one easy to use package on turn 1. Now this Temtem lacks a lot in most of its stats, which is why it's not competitive material for the most part. But here, we'll pump 500 into speed and 500 into special attack to make sure it's quick and does the most amount of damage for farming. Super simple. I also like to equip the lure to it to make sure it's soaking up the damage because it can heal it right back. Tukai is next, and unlike Nessla, this one can fit niche roles on a competitive team. Spreader allows you to turn single target special attacks into AoE special attacks that hit for 80% of their original damage. Now using either a water or a wind move will give you the same type attack bonus and bring its damage back above 100% when spread out on targets that take ×2 or higher damage. For its stats, we like to bring up stamina just enough to make good use of any of its attacks across multiple turns, while pumping up speed and special attack so it can outspeed most threats and hit hard. Now we also add just a little to HP and special defense to bring it over that stat threshold and let it have a fighting chance to survive some otherwise killer attacks. Minothor is another one that requires more creative use of TV training. Now we obviously pump its physical attack so we can take advantage of hard-hitting physical attacks. Then we greatly increase its speed. We do this because in combination with Rusher, this allows Minothor to outspeed max speed base 100s at +2 speeds, like Ukama and Gyalis. We also put some investment into HP for bulk and stamina for our cost-hungry moves. Now for Sanbi, unfortunately I don't own one, but I highly recommend the breakdown over on Tort Knight's Garden. It explains truly how flexible this Temtem can be built, from being a support all the way to an offensive sweeper. Now last up is Fire Koish. Now this Temtem will be invaluable for farming the level 100 shrine in Arbory. Hands down the best source of XP in the game, especially if you can obtain 2 perfect ones with Synergy Adept. Now this combination allows you to field both Koish at the same time, with all of their attacks synergizing with each other. They also take advantage of dual typing stab bonuses, and the Synergy Adept trait makes all their synergy attacks deal 15% more damage. Hitting these out with speed and attack will prove to be a menace for any Temtem weak to their typings. And there you have it, the best locations to train your Temtem, the gear that you'll need to do it efficiently, and the Temtem that are the best bang for your buck. As always, thanks for stopping by the channel and supporting another video. We have a whole host of Temtem content already here on the channel, and if you found this one useful, do me a solid and hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Kodiak and I cover all manners of indies and AAA titles throughout the year. So if you like our content, we hope to see you around. I also want to let you know that our 2022 Leave a Legacy charity event is set for Saturday, October 22nd. For a second year in a row, we've partnered with Connecticut Children's to help bring the joy of video games to kids at the hospital. Mark your calendars, set a reminder, and be sure to join us on Discord to stay up to date on everything regarding our upcoming charity event. The link, of course, is down below. My name is Livid, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.